Action. Right, that's action. Hello, sir. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Great to see you guys.
You guys got your hats on, ready to go.
Yeah. Well, so all right, let's pick up where we left off. So Vince and I were doing our conversation. We had a conversation. Then you walked in and realized Vince's camera wasn't even recording half the damn time. So here we are. So we threw you in it. So.
Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, man.
Fun.
But
Nice studio.
yeah,
It's beautiful in here, man.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
well, the idea behind this is obviously for us to kind of utilize this to kind of communicate what it is that we're doing, and then anybody else that wants to utilize this too and talk about their involvement and how what they want to do with the community, any ideas that they have, maybe introduce themselves. Yeah. Obviously, this is kind of there for a sounding board for everybody.
I think it'd be dope to take advantage of that, dude. For sure. For sure.
So I guess let's go back a little bit before we go forward. Maybe let's start again with how did CMC? Well, first of all, who's Vince Doherty?
Going back to there, huh? All the way back.
All the way back. And then we'll toss over to James.
All right. So, I mean, that's such a big question, man. Like I always tell my students that's gonna be the first question you get in a job interview is like, tell me about yourself. And now when I'm put on the spot, I don't know what to really say. So I'm a Rohnert Park lifer. I've been here. I was born and raised here. I went to Ranch Cotati. I went to Thomas Page in Cotati. Went to Sonoma State. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm an educator. I got 2 young children that are growing up here. They're going to Evergreen. I'm just a dude that's trying to do the best I can during the crazy time that we have on this planet, and trying to make my impact as much as I can, and enjoying the ride, man. Like that's kind of where I'm at, man.
And you're doing it, dude.
I'm trying to do it, man.
All right, so now James's turn.
Yeah.
Nice. Who's James Withington?
J-Dub.
James Withington's also a Rohnert Park lifer, 1984, 1985, right?
86.
86.
I'm the
May
young buck.
May 20th, right?
I'm the young buck,
Still the
dude.
baby. Tommy's the
You guys are
baby,
40.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not yet. Hold on.
Yeah, grew up here in G section, live in K section now with a wife and kids, and I coach sports and I'm an electrician. And my parents live here and up in Lake County, back and forth. So my brother lives here, and
You got the whole fam.
it's pretty amazing.
I think what's cool. Well, I was going to say, I think what's cool, and you might be. This is where you're going too. Is I think we all went to Rancho Cotati. We all kind of grew up together. We all kind of went our separate directions, and then life kind of brought us back, right? And part of that was kids and everything else, and our kids are super close, and Damien and my daughter are in the same class and stuff like that. So it's really cool. To
Aria loves Stella.
Yeah.
All of our kids are super close, and that's one of the reasons why we're here, because we want to extend that to all the other guys. Why should we just be experiencing this amazing?
Like when we had a meeting, we had
Let's
meetings
spread this out.
at James' house recently, and this dude cooks up amazing breakfast, and he's out there making on his Blackstone, and all the kids are there. And they're all running around playing hide and seek inside the house, and I just pop in. I'm like, a bunch of kids. They're eating bacon, and we're all just chilling. It was a Sunday or Saturday morning, whatever it was, and it was just like, this is beautiful, man. Like that was the good stuff right there, dude. So for sure,
more of that.
Yeah,
much more of that.
More guys should be doing that. More kids. I feel like the more kids that have really close connections, the parents are going to have close connections.
Yeah,
there's just going to be less foolery going around.
Everybody's watching out for each other's kids.
Yeah.
There'll be more
down the right
accountability
path,
going
right?
on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the old saying, man, it takes a village, right? Like, it's hard to raise kids if you're just stuck, isolated by yourself. Like, the monotony of it all, and the baths, and the cooking, and all this, and the cleaning, and it's just like one day after another. It's like if you can break that and have a place where you can go and they can hang out and have fun. And I know we've gone to the Sonoma State movie nights, and we've seen that.
So much stuff here. How about riding to the top of the mountain and back?
Yeah, bro.
Trying to kill me doing that.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
so fun. We're
doing it again soon.
But get more people involved.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that we talked about originally when we were talking about, okay, what is it that our vision is social club, community service oriented, like how do we give back, like all of these sort of things. But I think one conversation that we always keep having is the inclusivity part of it, right? Like we want it to be where like-minded guys feel like they have a place where they're welcomed, and we don't want to say, oh no, we don't want you to be a part of this.
Right,
like I think the idea is we want people that feel like they're outsiders
right
to become a part of this, right? Like perfect example is John, right? I think John, he's not here right now, but he's a part of this whole
He's
thing
an
too.
outsider.
Well, he's
outsider.
a Marin guy, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
he's not a
outsider,
local guy. So, but him kind of coming in and embracing this community, and obviously you'll let him speak to that at some point in time.
He's one of the brothers.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
I think that was really cool. I think it's a great example of what it is that we're trying to do, right? Like people that have maybe not only grew up here, but migrated here and just kind of established that sense of community.
Yeah.
Right?
John's really immersed himself in this community.
Yeah.
That's one thing that he's done. He's coached. He's on boards.
Yeah.
He introduces himself to
everyone.
He's a very sociable person.
Absolutely.
And he's
Can't stop him.
Can't stop him.
Great
You can't
dad,
stop him.
Loves sports.
Yeah.
Loves just community, and that's exactly what we're about.
Exactly, man.
He's been fun, having along, working towards our final goal, getting this thing all, in cement.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask earlier is like, you said you're a lifer, you've kind of been around a little bit, I'm a lifer. Like, what is it about Sonoma County, Rohnert Park, Cotati area that like, for me, it's home, right? Like we got this beautiful weather. You know what I mean? The rest of the country's baking. We're beautiful here. Like we got the ocean, we got all these beautiful things, but there's something more than
I had this
that,
conversation
right?
yesterday with somebody, and it was, I don't think we appreciated this maybe when we were younger, right? But I think now there's a different appreciation. I remember I used to always be in high school, right? And I think we would go to Safeway, or you go there.
There's nothing to do.
You're like, oh, no, it wasn't even that. You're like, oh, I'm running into all these people. I can't even just go in. I got to say hi and do. And now I appreciate that. Now I look forward to actually going in and saying, who am I going to run into now, right?
Totally.
So
that's true.
I think that sense of like
small town community,
familiarity, family, like friendship, like there's all of that, right?
Which is interesting too, because like you said, it's a small town feel, but it's growing, right? Like K section.
Yeah.
I took my brother came into
section,
town.
W
Dude,
section.
all this space, right? And so it's beautiful because it's growing in that regard, but we still have, I feel like that's one of the reasons that we're all trying to get this thing going too. Like we see this little community that we grew up in, that's growing, it's getting bigger, 50,000 people here or whatever now, and the casino and all this stuff. But ultimately it's still this small town feeling. How can we make it, where we just enhance it and make it better for not just the men, but the women, the children, the families, the single people, like the teachers, the electricians, the real estate agents. Like, how do we make it better for all of us? Because it's ultimately it's where I want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere else. I've had the chance to move away, and I just every time I'm like, why? Like my brother just moved to Virginia, and he's like, I miss it so much, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Why would you go out there? Yeah, right. So I mean, that's cool too. Like that's the other connections right there, right? Meeting family and meeting everybody, and that's what makes this place special to me, right?
Yeah, well, one of the many.
And
to your point, yeah, things have changed so much. They've grown so much. There's still a lot of change happening. There's going to be that downtown coming here soon. Mm-hmm. You talk about places like Old Cas that have kind of come into these industrial areas and like given us more things to do, right? It's not that you have to leave Rohnert Park to go to Santa Rosa or go to Petaluma to find good places to eat or good places to hang out. You've got them all over the place now, and so it's really cool that we have that as well on top of being 25 minutes to the ocean, being a couple hours to Lake Tahoe so you can go skiing and
the big cities are just down there
and everything else, right? Like I guess if you're talking Sonoma County and Rohnert Park geographically, like it's got all that stuff, but the intangibles is the people in this community, and I think that again brings us back to, I don't want to say necessarily being leaders of the community, but kind of being advocates.
Yeah, I think that's a great word.
And being people that want to connect people that are also good people.
Yeah.
And by doing so, inviting them to poker nights, inviting them to mixers, and just, I think I made it a point, and I think you guys made it a point as well, was I didn't want to just sit there and talk to you guys when we did this as well, right? Like I already know you, and I know you, and we've all known each other forever, but I wanted to get to know these other guys that were there too, and it was really cool to kind of develop relationships with other guys that make them feel welcomed and like a part of this community, and maybe they hadn't had that opportunity previously too. So
for sure.
And it goes back to what is it that we're trying to do, and I think we all keep going back to the idea of youth sports, right? Youth sports is a big thing for all of us, and how do we get back into youth sports? Obviously, time is one of those things, right?
Right.
I know we coach, we're part of the boards, we do a lot of those types of things too.
A lot
of time.
Effort.
Right.
But what else can we do on top of that, right? And just being good, positive influences, helping raise these kids, right?
Yeah. But then to speak on that also, bud, is like, we're talking about dads too, and I think that's kind of what we're focused on because we are dads, but it's not even just dads that have kids, right? It's just any guy who is in the community who feels like they want to network with people, they want to get to know other people, they want to branch out a little bit, they want to get involved, right? I feel like we could be that vehicle to help kind of, because you were saying that, connecting, right? And bringing people in and being inclusive, right, was the word. And so I know we focus a lot on dads because we are dads and a lot of the guys that we've had are dads, but it's also like just good dudes, right? Like if you're a plumber and you want to help, your business, like come involved in the group and let's promote it a little bit and let's get you up and running and let's get some connections going where you can maybe find out other things. And that's kind of the magic sauce I feel like we're trying to tap into.
I feel like we gotta get people off of their screens, off the video games.
Yeah, bro.
Off of their couch, out and about, like going on bike rides, going to watch the movies, taking the kids out, going to have a beer, just going to have fun, Just get away from that isolation.
Yeah.
Isolation's the worst thing, that's terrible for us.
Oh, it creates that depression too,
Terrible
I think,
for
right?
us,
Like,
yeah.
I think that we were talking about this earlier, just feeling like a recluse. You're feeling like, you got to get out of that shell. You got to put yourself out there. You got to do these sort of things. And it's much easier to do it with people that you enjoy being around than just trying to motivate yourself,
if
right?
we're able to get this, big group going on, the more the merrier. There's going to be a lot of guys that have never met each other and they're going to link up and find similarities or find like a new hobby or a new interest.
Right.
The possibilities are endless.
Like we have
just socially in this thing.
Yeah. Like we have like 150 dudes on the Facebook, and I don't look at it as like all 150 guys need to hang out, right? Like that's not what it's about. But if you can find a couple groups in there that you connect with, and you got, like you said, you got a group of 3 or 4, and you guys go out to get some wings on a Thursday night after work, and kind of break up the monotony of the week, and how much that can mean. Or like me and you, we've started bike riding, which has been great, and hooping it up. I know you guys go play hoop in the morning. And things like that. So I think part of it is geared around just being active physically, as well as like, in the community, but just being physically active. I know somebody had reached out and said that they started a men's group or they were part of one. I'm trying to remember who it was. And they said that it was based on like 5 a.m. workouts. And it was like all these dudes just started getting together because they wanted to encourage and support one another to get up in the morning and get a workout in. Yeah. And I'm like, that could be an aspect of it. It doesn't mean all 180 dudes are all going to do it at the same time. But if you can find
there's a few guys.
There's a few guys that want to do it, and you get 3 or 4 that want to do it, and now you're starting to build your community based off the networks that we're creating.
Yeah, and you hold each other accountable, and then all of a sudden it just becomes habit, and everybody.
You're also becoming a role model. You're showing the kids that taking on your physical appearance, your physical health is an important thing to do. You got to put that up on the priority list. And when kids are doing that at a young level, especially kids that are athletic in sports, that's going to propel them into their teenage years, the high school years. They're just going to have a more fun, probably likely more successful career, and that's
a healthy
that's kind of what we
lifestyle.
want,
Hell yeah.
We want to support these kids to have possibly a better future than if we didn't do this.
Well, and I think, again, kind of going back to that point, so I'll just share an example with you of kind of something that's going on also in my life is my old collegiate basketball coach started a mentorship program. He's over at Cal State East Bay now, and so he's got guys that, it's how do you connect alumni or people that are in certain industries with guys that are coming up, right? And so these kids that are in college, they have really kind of an idea of maybe what they want to do, or maybe have no idea yet, but at least connecting somebody that's doing something in that field of work that maybe they're interested in, right? And so he's doing this mentorship program. I'm talking to one of the players cool, out there. I'll be out there at the end of October, and kind of I'm there as a resource for him, but also kind of offering like life advice, right? Yeah. Like, hey, I was in your shoes, and this is how I got to where I'm at. These were the pitfalls along the way. These are some of the successes that came along the way.
Yeah.
But I think that's what you're trying to say. I think that's what we're doing, not only just shaping like our kids, but the other kids in the community, maybe kids in high school, maybe the kids are at Sonoma State now and have no direction on what do I do, right? Yeah. Theoretically,
there's a lot of that.
Like I gotta go do something with my life. But what the heck do I do?
Yeah.
Right? And so
where do I talk to?
we can kind of be that sounding board and that person again that goes back to connecting. Like, oh look, this is what industry that you're looking to do. I know somebody that does that.
Totally.
Let me connect it. And I think if any one of us had somebody come approach us, right, or anybody that's been involved with what we're trying to do here, had somebody approach them and say, hey, I would love to learn about what it is that you do professionally, we would be an open book, right?
Yeah.
Like we would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
That'd be great.
So it's funny that you say that, right? So when we all started this, it was kind of like we had a great idea. We have this idea of like bringing guys together, and then it's like, what is that going to look like, right? And we've focused on kids athletics and mentorship, and we've just brainstormed so many different ideas on like what this can look like, and that's the creative juices, and that's the exciting part, right? And like I think of what you're talking about. My nephew, he lives with us now. He's 20 years. He just turned 20. Kind of doesn't know what he wants to do. He's lived with us for a couple of years, and he's trying to figure it out. And it's like, all right, if I had a nice network and I could get him set up with an apprenticeship or get him set up with this, that, and the other, and he's finally found a direction that he wants to go in, and so we're supporting and encouraging that. But that's part of what we're talking about too, right? Exactly the same thing. And so it's like we have this great idea, and we know that it's valuable. We see people giving us feedback on it, and we want to just see exactly what this is going to turn into, whether it's mentorship. We've talked about doing like DIY classes for kids too. Like, hey, let's show you things my dad will teach me, and like how to shave your face, how to tie a tie, how to change your tire, like all these little things that maybe kids that don't have a father figure in their life, like we can take them under our wing a little bit and show them here's a bunch of good dudes that can teach you how to do certain things, and that mentorship and that kind of giving back in that regard. It doesn't always have to be volunteer service in terms of like signing up with an organization, right? Like Goodwill or something like that. But it can be volunteer work where you're creating it on your own.
There's lots of ways to give back, right?
Yeah.
Lots of ways to give back, and
Exactly.
it doesn't just have to be one size fits all with
Right,
that, right?
right.
So I'm excited to where this is going to go. I think really for me, what validated it was when I had conversations with each of you guys. This was incubation stage, and it was like, hey, I had this idea of getting us together. This is the idea behind it. This is what we're kind of thinking about doing. And every single one of you guys that I talked to was like, I love it.
I love it.
I love it. Like, how do I get involved? And let's
man.
get this thing going. And so we've been months in the works behind the scenes of what we've been discussing and where we're at. We've obviously still got a long ways to go, but we're moving it along, and I think this is starting to take shape. And hopefully, it just continues to grow organically, and we figure out what that niche looks like and how we can. There's going to be so many things that we're going to help in different areas that we don't even know, that we aren't even thinking of right now, right? It's just going to happen.
Right. As long as we set up the infrastructure for it to happen, right? You plow the field so you can grow the crops, right? We're in the process of plowing the field. We don't exactly know what we're going to plant yet, but hopefully we get there, and I think we're getting there. Right? It's not that hopefully, I think we're getting there, and I think there's a huge demand for what we want to do, and that's a really exciting part for me. I feel like I have found a purpose in trying to pursue something that I'm passionate about. I think that we all kind of feel that in a certain way, right? Like we're part of something. We've tapped into something bigger than ourselves. Yeah, I feel like with it, and I know I've definitely felt that, and so I'm just excited to see where that can lead. Very excited.
Yeah. What do you got for us, James? Any ideas of I guess what before we kind of like sign off here? Any parting words of wisdom?
Yeah. I just want to say, when I left Rohnert Park, when I moved up to Santa Rosa for a few years, bought my first condo up there. I noticed that a lot of people had a bad view of Rohnert Park. They thought it was a boring place, or there wasn't much to do, or it wasn't a nice place. Just a bad connotation about it, and that's something that I hated, And even like I worked in San Francisco or the Bay Area a lot, and I worked with guys from all over the East Bay, the South Bay, the city, and they give no love to the North Bay, Sonoma County. They don't even. It's not even in their purview.
They're missing out.
It's unbelievable.
They are missing out. But hey, we don't want it to get too busy up here either, right?
That's the thing. If we can create this group and bring all these guys together, the possibilities are endless, guys.
Yeah, man.
It could be so fun.
Well, and I think that perception has probably changed too. I don't think what you were hearing before is probably not things that you're hearing now, right? I think if you're out in the community, you're hearing a lot of good things about Rohnert Park.
Well, here in the community, you hear about that. But in Santa Rosa and Windsor and Petaluma, in Marin County.
Well, I think a lot of that kind of rests.
It's not the same. It's not. They don't have that same view.
Yeah.
Of us as we do of ourselves, and that's that's one of my big motivators, is to help everyone else. Like if we can get this big enough to raise, attention to our whole cause and everything. If we can get some kind of, if we can get eyes on us, that's.
So it's funny because it makes me think
what I'm
growing up here and when you're little, you have the parks and stuff like that. But then when you get to a certain age in high school, you're kind of like, there's not a whole lot to do, right? Like you see other places like, oh, you can go out and do these things, but what is there to do? And then as you get older and you start appreciating, you're like, we have all these beautiful parks. And you start looking at it at like a different angle. Every area in the city has a beautiful park, right? We're surrounded by these mountains with beautiful trails everywhere and all this type of stuff. But it kind of, Rohnert Park at its core has always been like a suburban bedroom community, right? People sleep here and then they would leave to go elsewhere to work, right?
That's what I do.
And that's what you do, right? And I work in Santa Rosa myself, right? And so like people would leave the town and then come back and you'd stay here because there was no kind of central place. Well, with the downtown coming, right? And we got the casino there.
You have the smart train.
We got the smart train, which I absolutely love. You have Old Cash. You have all these different Parliament, I think, is in Rohnert Park, right? All these different breweries that are kind of popping up. It's like, no, there's a lot of good things to do. You got the space at Jaded Toad that could turn into something here coming up, right? Friar Tuck's, all the downtown Katati area. I'm like, I look at it as like the future is really bright for the area, and we could tap into that and try to encourage people to like get out and be part of that, be part of the community, socialize, get to know each other, and give back,
And again, I think the community itself is continuing to grow. There's a lot of new subdivisions still coming in. There's a lot of new bills that are still happening. So there's more and more people that are going to come to the area, right? And so how do we welcome them? How do we kind of show them this is the hospitality of Rohnert Park? This is what we do here, right? Yeah. And I'm excited for this. I'm excited for everything that we kind of pursue. I'm excited to just spend more time with you guys. And
I think we should try to make, these podcasts and this a little bit more frequent as we can, bring in guests, have different people host, have different conversations about, who knows where this can lead to also, sports, community, all these different things, updates on CMC.
The ideas that can sprout from having other people in could be pretty fun.
Yeah. That's where the good stuff happens. I think that's what the poker night, and it seems looking at it, at the moment it felt super important. Looking back, I'm like, well, it was only 30 dudes. And I'm like, well, no, it was 30. We got 30 plus guys to come to a place at a certain time and connect with each other, and the connections that were made from that and the friendships and the dudes that have already reached out being like, when's the next thing?
The desire to
what's
do it
going
again.
on next? I want to do this again.
We already have another one.
We want to do another poker night, but it's also like we want to do different things, and then like I think bringing everybody together and then also finding ways to give back is kind of, like I've mentioned before, it's like that secret sauce, right, that we're trying to figure out, and I think we're getting there. I know we're getting there, and I feel it.
Well,
I feel it.
I'm excied. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
I'm looking forward to doing this.
Olale.
And signing off for our first little shindig in the podcast studio. Vince Doherty, James Withington, Cody Gatton.
Hey, come to Old Kaz, October 2nd, 49er game.
Yeah.
Have some beers, kick it with us. Yeah, let's go. Let's have a good night outside and enjoy some company.
Thanks for watching.
Let's